All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to GSR Gonzo Sports Room. Monday, July 11th. Man, we're already to the middle of July. These months go quick anymore. But joined tonight by the sports judge, Jonathan Mathis again. Nice to have you back on, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Gonzo? It's good to be back on as always. This show's a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be a part of this show. Thanks for having me on once again, and let's do what we do best. Let's dive into some of these sports topics. I mean, we got a lot going on in the sports world. We got the MLB All-Star game coming up soon here. We got Summer League going on, and the MLB All-Star game is even more exciting this year because it's in my backyard. It's right here in Southern California. So it's gonna be a lot of excitement, being that it's here in Southern California. The last time we had an All-Star game was when it was here in 2010, but it was in Anaheim. It wasn't in LA, but it was still here, So it's great that it's back. I'm looking forward to it, and let's get right to it, man.
And they just announced that Albert Pujols is going to be part of the home run derby this year.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. I love Albert Pujols, just the way he carries himself as a person, the amazing stuff he does off the field as well. He's a likable figure, and I think it was quite fitting that he ended up back in St. Louis. I'm glad that he went back where it's all started for him. It would be a fitting ending to his remarkable career. And I'm glad that he's back there because it was just strange to see him in an Angel uniform. That was weird, and it just didn't work out. It was an overpay. The Angels were desperate. They thought they were getting the same Albert Pujols that left St. Louis the first time around. And, they saw that it was another disappointment.
It don't work like that a lot of times. I mean,
right, it doesn't.
Look at King Griffey Jr. when he left Seattle to go to the Cincinnati Reds.
Right.
And it never turned out in Cincinnati like everybody thought it would because of injuries.
Right. These guys are all past their prime, They
start getting older. And,
right.
And it catches up with people at different times. You never know when a player is going to start slowing down.
Right. And the problem with Ken Griffey Jr., we all know what was the problem with him, right? Injuries derailed him. I often say, you often hear me say this, Chris, if it wasn't for the injuries that, delayed his process, that set him back, if it wasn't for those injuries, he would be the home run king, right? He would have easily shattered that home run record.
And never been accused of using steroids or anything.
Right.
He's never been brought up in any kind of scandal or nothing. He's like your model
Exactly.
of what you want a superstar to be.
Exactly. So we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about Barry Bonds being the home run king. That it would be a completely different conversation had Ken Griffey Jr. stay healthy. Because this was a guy who had the purest swing. You know, he was just a remarkable hitter.
And had the defense to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. He had the glove as well. Just the prettiest swing. Very class act, very likable in Seattle. I think he's still the most likable sports figure.
I was going to say probably the most popular sports figure
I
out
think
Seattle.
he's the symbol. He's the symbol of that city still. And we're talking about a guy who's been long removed from the game of baseball, a guy who's retired years ago. Yeah, yet he's still held as, you know, the hero there. He was their adoptive son, and they love him to this day.
A guy that's already in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, and he's well deserving of it.
I love it. Oh, when he came to the Reds, I was so excited because, of course, his dad played for the Reds too, so it was cool. That made it cool. But I'm a big Reds fan, and he wasn't terrible with the Reds. We just never reached the potential it could have because he started having injury problems.
Right.
And what's up, Eddie? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, what's up, Eddie?
But then I was listening to a conversation on Friday, and Richard Jefferson made the comment that his rookie year he played in the finals, and then he came back and played in the summer league to help to try to get better and help his further his development. And he was saying how he thought that more second year players should come back and play on that summer league team. And what do you think about that? I'm kind of split on it because I see a lot of pros for it, but then I can see a couple cons as well.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on it?
Well, the pros for it is obvious, right? It will further your development. If you play, you know, and I mean, you can already have, you know, a set of tools. I mean, there's a lot of these NBA players, these youngsters coming into the game today, they have pulled their tools from out of the shed. And it's just simply remarkable to see how fast they have grown, how fast they have adapted, and how quickly they have come on, you know, at this stage of their career. And I mean, there's still a lot of room for improvement for a lot of these players. Now, would I play? I would play. A part of me says I would play because, look, for one, I'm passionate about the game of basketball. So I'm going to play. Hey, it's the summer league. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to give it all I got. I'm also going to play because, Chris, I know this would help with my development. This would help with the process moving forward. I will get better. The more I'm on the court, the better I become as a player. You know, I can work out some of the kinks before the season start. You know, this is what summer league is for. It gives scouts a chance to evaluate you. It gives the coaches and the assistant coaches a chance to see what they have, what this guy can bring to the table. So those are the pros. Just having them out there, letting them get loose, letting them get a feel for the game. You know, let them see what it's kind of like, you know, from the NBA landscape, what it's like, you know, at the pro level, you know. But then the cons, and it's a no-brainer. Injuries. Injury is the biggest con, you know, and the worst thing you want to have happen is one of your young stars that you just drafted suffer a serious injury playing in a game that really doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter, but it matters to the player, and it matters to the team that, you know, drafted that player so he can get better.
It matters now. They're giving out championship rings for the summer league now.
I heard about that, and I just chuckled because I'm like, really, you gonna give out championship rings now? When did this become an event where you hand out, you know, participation awards. I mean, participation trophies. That's ridiculous, you know. But I mean, hey, you know, they feel like these guys work hard. You know, it shows out there on the court, and you know, uh, you see vast improvement from these guys. You see an array of talent out
It's a
there.
it's a great PR idea. Great
Talent.
PR idea.
Right. Exactly. And you know, it gets these young guys motivated because sometimes they're not motivated to play. You
Draws
know,
more
'cause
fan
they,
gets
they
more
realize
fans.
too that these games don't count.
More
What was
fans to
that?
pay more fans to pay more attention to it.
Yeah,
You
fans
know,
will
what I mean, that's what
definitely
they're trying
pay
to
more
do. Get
attention
fans to
to
pay.
it.
Yep.
But Chris, fans are going to pay attention to it anyway because look, they're thirsty for basketball. There's no basketball during the summer, so this is
I was
a
I've been watching.
basketball fan
I was watching.
opportunity game.
Yeah, I was watching NBA Summer League this evening because the Reds had a day off, so they wasn't playing, and about the only baseball team I really watch on TV. Unless I watched a little bit of the Cardinals and Mets tonight because I knew that was going to be a good game because of the two guys that were pitching. But most time I'm watching Reds. That's my team, and so I was watching the NBA Summer League because there really wasn't nothing else on. So I watched it and I watched a little Monday Night Raw, but yeah, the main con is injuries. That's the main con. But if I was a coach, I think I'd play my players because you can get hurt doing anything. I mean, we've seen players get hurt at practice. You know, I mean, not and you can get non-contact injuries. So you're taking a chance all the time. But it's a big upside because of chemistry. Plus, for a lot of these players or guys that are in the G League or coming out of college that maybe they didn't get drafted, it's an audition for another team. Even you might not make this team you're playing in the summer league with, but one of these other teams might see you and want to pick you up. So for me, that's another big thing about playing. Even second year players, if you haven't solidified a spot on your team, it's a good way to let for other people to evaluate you. And for chemistry is another thing. If you bring I love what OKC is doing by having Giddy play, have him out there playing with the other young guys.
Right.
I think it's great.
And that, like you said, that helps develop chemistry, and that kind of fosters a culture, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, that helps tremendously. I completely agree. And Josh Giddey even said that he's enjoying his time playing with Chat Holmgren. Those two guys seem to be clicking. They seem to have great communication. You know, they have, you know, fostered a culture that seems conducive, you know, to winning already. I mean, I know it's a small sample size. This is only summer league. Let's see how well these two guys perform when the regular season come, when they're playing against seasoned veterans, when they're playing against players that's been in the league for a very long time, that's been doing it for a very long time, when they have to go up against other superstars, you know, who have been around for a very long time, who's very, very good at this game.
And grown men.
But I'm not going to take away anything from Chat Holmgren because I think Chat Holmgren is getting a lot of hate right now. A lot of people are doubting what this man can do, and I wrote an article about that. You know, they're doubting and they're questioning him mainly because of his frame. You know, they're saying he's too skinny. They're saying that he
everybody said the same thing about Durant.
Right, that he's not built to be in the NBA. They're worried about his physique, you know, but he, you know, he has caught up to the time. You know, he's playing in a league where the big man position is transforming every day, it seems. You know, the big man position has evolved, you know, over time. You've seen an evolution, you know, with the center and the power forward position.
Yes.
Now these guys are more valuable because they stretch the floor, and that's something that Holmgren, you know, has showcased that he can spread the floor because of his excellent shooting, because of his height, his size, his wingspan. I mean, you can't overlook this guy, and you can't say this guy's going to be a label. A label, a bus. Because they have attached the bus label to his name, which I think it's too soon to do that. That's premature. Give this man a chance. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Let him show the world what he's capable of. And I mean, look, this guy has great ball handling skills like a guard. I mean,
Yeah,
that's why he's regarded as a unicorn, right? Because of his rare qualities, the
yeah,
rare qualities that he possesses. It's amazing what the guy can do at so many levels. He could do it at all three levels too. That's what's crazy. But then you got scouts out there doubting this guy, saying that he, is only going to jack up a lot of shots, that he's not able to blow by defenders. I think that's utterly crazy. He can blow by defenders because he has the agility, he has the speed to do that. So I just think it's utterly insane that we're hearing from people that's already saying that he's gonna be a bust.
yeah,
It's just absurd.
yeah. I just got done watching him play because that was one of the games I was just watching. Orlando and OKC.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
on ESPN, right?
yep, I think
Yeah,
he's going to be a good NBA player. He has the ceiling to be a great NBA player. But I do think he's going to have to put on about 15, 20 pounds of muscle, which I think he'll do. He's still
right,
young. He's growing into his body.
right,
But only thing I really see that's going to maybe hurt him right now is going to be on the defensive end. Other than that, the dude has a complete game. And as he puts a little muscle on, his defense is going to get better and better. It's
right.
not like
Exactly.
he's not a terrible defender. It's just sometimes guys can kind of bully him down there because he's not a real big. He's a big dude, but he's not a big dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's 7 foot
Well,
tall, but he's really not a big guy.
and that's the thing. He has the characteristics of an elite defender, right? Um, he definitely has that. He can get down the floor. He's an incredible shot blocker. He has the shooting mechanics. He's definitely a great defender. To me, he's a good defender. That's probably why the Thunder drafted him with the number 2 overall pick, because they know what they have in their player. And they know that he has the potential to be an elite defender, and I think he will be in time. I think he'll make an immediate impact on this Thunder team. And see, this is another thing that people forget too, Gunzo, is that he complements two guys in that backcourt. They have a young, and talented backcourt that features Shy, Gilgis, Alexander, and of course Josh Giddey. Those two guys are amazing. So
And
by
kicked
his
in.
with his presence and his ability to spread the floor, that makes things better for Josh Giddey and Gilgis
Oh,
Alexander in that backcourt.
Giddey and Holmgren have looked great together so far in the summer league. They they're
Yeah,
they've
great
they're built
chemistry.
they're building a big chemistry, and that leads me
Right.
to the next topic is Orlando Magic shut Banchero down for the rest of the summer league, and then you see a team like OKC that's playing Giddey to build that chemistry with their rookie. So I mean, you see both sides of it, and it kind of goes to that first topic about the second year players, but now we're seeing some teams bench their players they just drafted. And to me, I understand because you're worried about the injury, but again, I think there's a lot more uh, pros than there are cons
Yeah.
because you got that guy has that chance. Yes, it's not against NBA players. Some of these
Right.
guys are in G League players, college players. I understand that, but it's still getting it's still a different speed than what college basketball is. It's
Mhm.
not full speed like the NBA, but it's a little faster.
Right.
So I think it really helps these players to play in that summer league before they can jump into the NBA. And then when you only play maybe 1 or 2 games and bench them, I don't know. I think there's a lot they could learn that they're missing out on.
I think more people are furious because they wanted to see the matchup between Banchero and obviously Chet Holmgren, because those two teams were eventually going to meet in summer league. So I think that's why more people are furious. Uh and I'm with you. After two impressive starts, you decide to bench him. Um, Orlando is trying to protect this guy because they see how he's gonna be that cornerstone, piece. He's gonna be that cornerstone piece to their rebuild project, no doubt about it. Just like Chet Holmgren. Chet
Yeah.
Holmgren is in the same situation. It's the same scenario over there as well. But you see, they're still letting Chet Holmgren get a feel for the game. They're still letting him play. Every organization is different. Every organization is going to handle it differently. Would I let Banchero continue to play? Absolutely, because I think he would continue to develop. I think he would continue to get better, grow as a player, grow as a person. Learn his teammates a bit better. Have a better understanding for the game going into next season. Because look, they're banking on him. He's their guy for the future.
Yeah.
They didn't just draft him with the number one pick for no reason.
And most people,
It wasn't an accident.
Most people, including myself, and if I remember correctly, even you thought Banchero was the most NBA ready player in the draft.
Exactly. So
giving him that extra experience is just going to help him even more.
Right. Exactly. But I don't think I would have still set him down. I think I would have let him play at least one more game. At least get one or two more games in, and then maybe I would consider sitting him. But
only way I said
it's too soon after just two games. I mean, hey, look, he's looked impressive. Like we talked about before, he looked like an NBA ready player. And he definitely provides some depth and some quality shooting in that front court for the Orlando Magic. And the future is definitely bright if he could play like that in an actual NBA game. Can he translate that, to the regular season is the bigger question now. And I think he can. He's poised. He's energetic. He has the skill set. He has the tools. And he can one day become an elite, shot maker and a great defender for that Orlando Magic team. The future is bright in Orlando with Banchero leading the way.
Yeah, I was just surprised they set him after the two games like that because there's so much upside there. But but also I understand the injury thing. But my thing with the injuries, it's that it always goes back to risk and reward. And I think there's the reward. What the reward could be is a lot bigger than what the risk is. Unless the only way I would set him, there's only one way I would set him. I'll say that he went to the coach or one of the trainers and said, "Oh, I'm sore," or "My knee's a little sore, my shoulder," or so, you know what I mean. Then, yeah, you set him because you want him to be healthy. But if he's healthy and he's not complaining about any kind of injuries or anything,
right,
I think you play him. And he very well might be sore or something, and the Magic just don't want it to get out. So they just decide, hey, we'll just say that we've decided to bench him for the rest of the summer league. You know what I mean? He might be dealing with just a little soreness or something, and they're being cautious. That could very well be the case. I mean,
right.
You know what I mean? Nobody knows but them and Banchero. But to me, that's the only way you set him is if he has some kind of little nagging injury or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Other than that, you let him get a feel, and you just let him go out there and play, and you see what he can bring.
How much stock do you put into the summer league games? Because I think it helps players develop a lot, but you can't get too excited about a player because they're still not facing the grown men.
Right. Well, I got excited about Chet Holmgren after I saw his first summer league game.
Yeah.
You
kind of got to be cautious about it just because it's like, man, they look so good, but
to me that was an encouraging sign.
Yes.
It was nice to see him make his shots, knock down his jump shots. It was just nice to see how promising he can be. and how much of a factor he can be for the OKC Thunder. Uh, that he's looking like that player that can come in and make the immediate impact. But Summer League is only to help you get better. It's to sharpen your skills as a player. You know, it's to get help you get your feet wet a little bit before the regular season starts. You know, it's a chance for you to learn your other players, to be around those guys, and it's a chance for the executives and the scouts to evaluate, to see, you know, who's gonna make the team or who's not gonna make the team. You know, to see who's really serious and who's not serious, to see which player needs more work than the other player. You know, and that's what this is really, really for. But I'm not gonna put too much hype on it. You know, I'm not gonna base, you know, a player's performance, a player's summer league performance. I'm just not gonna do that.
Good or bad, because
Right,
I mean, you see some
no,
guys get off to a bad start
right.
in the
I
summer league
gotta
and then
see
turn
what
it
they
and then
can
go.
do against grown men, like you said.
Yeah,
I gotta see what they can do against elite superstar talent. You know, I got to see what they can do when they play against a Kevin Durant, when they play against a Kyrie Irving, when they play against, you know, a LeBron James, when they play against, uh, you know, any of these
yeah,
all-star caliber players. You know, that's when the lights really come on. And that's when the spotlight is beaming down on you to perform and to bring your A game. You know, and that's when we will know more about these players. If they are cut out to be in this league, if
yeah.
they can handle playing in this league, if they can survive a grueling 82 game season, we will soon find out more. Right now, all of that remains to be seen. Summer League is a league where you're playing against players that's second year or first year. You know, so a lot of these guys are not fully developed. They're not grown men, you know, they're not, you know, fully ripened. They're not, you know, matured just yet. And that's not a knock on them, but they're still young kids coming into the league.
And you
You
got to
know,
be
so,
honest.
so you can't put too much on summer league. No.
Yeah, we got to be honest. What the G League is for and what the Summer League is for. It's not
Right.
for your stars. It's
Right.
for your younger guys that are fighting for a spot in the league. And
Right.
I brought up earlier, when you're out there on that court, you're not just playing for the team you're on. You're auditioning for the 29 other teams
Right.
because there's scouts at them summer league games. And they're not just there to watch the players that they just drafted. They're there to watch the players on the other teams and some of the undrafted guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know everybody knows that some of these undrafted guys get picked up to help fill out rosters,
Right.
and there's always a gem that's found either with the undrafted guy or a guy got drafted in the late round. You see it in all sports, not just basketball. Happens in football. I mean, hell, Tom Brady was what, 6th-round pick. He's damn greatest quarterback to ever play was a 6th-round pick, and so that shows you scouts aren't always correct either.
Right.
We've seen players be hyped and be big busts, and we've seen guys that wasn't expected to do anything to become
Right.
great players. So that to me, that's what the G League and the Summer League is for them players for development, but it's more of a showcase your talent to everybody.
Right. And like you said, some of these scouts, they just don't have a good eye for talent. They just don't have a good eye for talent. You know, and sometimes the ones that don't have a lot of pressure on them are the ones that, you know, show up, are the ones that actually go out and compete to get on a roster. And once they get on the roster, man, they just shine. You
Yeah.
know, they dazzle, you know, and they come out of nowhere and you're like, where the hell did this guy come from? Who is he? And then the next thing you know, he emerges into maybe not a superstar, but a great second tier player or a great role player. And then everyone is talking about how great of a player he is, and you get a lot of undrafted players because look, a lot of these guys, man, they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose, and the pressure is not on their shoulders like it is with a first round pick or someone is projected to go high in the first round and someone who is favored to be this next big LeBron James or this next Kevin Durant. That's a lot of pressure on a guy. That puts a heavy burden on your shoulder.
Oh yeah.
And then when you but a lot of these guys that are not, first round picks or gonna be chosen in the first round are the ones that, play harder because they want to prove people wrong. They want to show the world that they can be just as great too.
Perfect example.
Right. So they have to play extra harder.
Perfect example is Baker Mayfield. When he's an underdog,
right?
When the odds are against him, that's when he plays great. When things are going good and he's not really underdog. He's more average. He's not the same guy.
Right.
Like, hey, he went to the one school, they got rid of him. He walked on to another school. Anytime the odds have been stacked against him, that's when he performs his best.
Mm-hmm.
And you get some guys like that, but then you get guys that fold under that pressure. But thanks, Eddie. He said great takes from both of y'all.
Thanks, Eddie.
And said that he's really enjoying the conversation.
Thank you.
My dad had asked who will be the surprise team in the NBA. I think the Indiana Pacers are going to be a lot better than people think they're going to be. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to compete for the finals, but I do think they're going to at least be in that play-in level, maybe a little bit higher than that, maybe like the 6 or 7. I like the roster. I like the roster that they're starting to build. Big rumor today is that they're about ready to do a sign and trade with Phoenix for Ayton, and they had to give up Turner. To me, that's not a bad deal. But then I've also heard a version of it where they're going to give up Halliburton as well. If you're going to give up Halliburton, I say hell no, because Ayton, yes, is probably a little bit better of a player than Turner, but he's not that much better of a player than Turner to give up Turner and Halliburton, who is the guy you're basically, from all signs, are planning on building around. Right. I mean, and right now you have Halliburton and Hield on the team. You got that rookie Mathurin who's looked good in the summer. He's looked good in the summer league. Your draft pick last year, Duarte, has showed a lot of promising signs last year. I expect him to be better in his second year in the NBA. DeAndre Ayton's a better scorer than Miles Turner, but Miles Turner's a little bit, I ain't gonna say a little bit. He's quite a bit better defender than what I think in my eyes than what Ayton is. I mean, Turner usually leads the league or close to leading the league in blocks every year. So, I mean, I think the Pacers, as a surprise team to actually move all the way up, and maybe that might make like a title run that nobody's thinking of. I'm gonna say maybe a team like the Denver Nuggets, because they're getting Jamal Murray back, getting MPJ back. You still have Jokic. I mean, to see Jokic with the healthy cast around him, we never really got to see how far that Denver team could go. And I think if everybody can stay healthy, I think they can make some noise. I'm not saying they could win it, but I think they could be a team that might end up being a contender that people don't expect. I don't know who you think might be a surprise team in the NBA. And do you have any thoughts on the Pacers maybe pulling off this?
I agree with you about the Pacers, man. I think they could be a surprise team. Everyone's gonna come back healthier. You still got Miles Turner. You got guys that can score. You got a promising future with those guys. The Eastern Conference is a little bit weaker than the Western Conference.
I agree.
So I mean, when you have 3 good teams at the top or 4 good teams at the top, The rest of the conference is pretty much up for grabs. Anybody can possibly squeeze their way into the standings and kind of make themselves look interesting or compelling. So I like the Pacers. I think they'll surprise another team is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they'll be better than
Yep,
what they were a
they
year
look
ago.
good at the end of the
They
year,
look
even
good
with
at the
Colin
end of the
Sexton
year.
out,
You got Sexton.
and he was out
You,
last year for a while.
right, right. You got Evan Mobley, who's really, really good, and I watched a lot of him when he played here at USC. So I know the kind of player he is. He provides depth in that front court. So I
Yep,
think Cleveland's going to be tough. In the Western
Atlanta's going to be
Conference,
better.
what was that?
Atlanta, they're going to be better.
Atlanta's going to be better,
Adding Murray at
especially
guard with having that Murray and
right, and especially
young. Yep,
defensively too. And then of course you got the amazing Trae Young, who can take over basketball games and go on this, offensive tear in games and put on a shooting clinic. And we've seen what he looks like when he explodes. And what I like about him, he's not afraid of the big moment. I mean, he could play in any setting and he could give you trouble. I mean, that's just how great of a player he is. Tony, yes, I think New Orleans is another team you put on the list as well. New Orleans is going to have Zion Williamson back. I think he's going to be ready to play, ready to go. I'm still concerned about his weight. I think he has to drop some pounds, has to, find a diet and kind of stay consistent with it. If he drops some pounds, I think he'll be a more effective player. I'm looking forward to seeing what he could do next season. And then you got the floor general, man, who I like in that backcourt. And you know who I'm talking about. That's CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum is bright on and off the floor. He brought some stability and credibility to that locker room. I think he was that veteran piece that they needed.
they turned the corner.
You talk about the job that Willie Green has done coaching that team. He has put brought those guys together. They have worked wonders together. They have developed great chemistry. They play fundamental basketball. They play team basketball. So I definitely got New Orleans as a surprise team. I think they'll be good this year. And then you got Jose, what's his last name? Who defended Chris Paul very well. I like his intensity on the defensive side of the basketball. He's an amazing guard as well. I think he's going to have a better season, as well. So this team is definitely going places. They definitely have the pieces in place to make something happen, and I think New Orleans will be a fun team to watch next season.
Yeah, I like New Orleans as well because especially if Zion
I
can
forgot
stay
about
healthy.
Brandon Ingram as
I
well.
was going to mention if Zion can stay healthy.
Yep.
CJ McCollum, when he got there last year, is when that team really turned the corner. And then Brandon Ingram's development has been just awesome to see. I know the Lakers had to be kicking themselves in the ass for letting him go because I think he's going to be a perennial all-star player. I really do. He's starting to develop into a real good pro. And when CJ got there, that team turned the corner, and now you're adding Zion. And if Zion especially can thin up a little bit and stay healthy, and they have some other good shooters on that team. I think New Orleans could be scary. And another team they really wouldn't be a surprise team. A team I think has had a real good offseason so far and a good free agency is the Boston Celtics. I think their move of getting Malcolm Brogdon was a great decision. And I think their move of getting Gallinari, which is another shooter, a great decision. So I really like what the Boston Celtics are doing to try to make their chances of getting back to the finals better. Because
with Malcolm,
I really think they're making some good moves. I think Brad Stevens is starting to show that he might be a pretty good GM.
Yeah, he is. I mean, well, this dude was bright when he coached at Butler.
Yep.
He has a great IQ for the game. He's very smart. He knows what he's doing. Obviously, in the front office, he's done a good job. Being the architect of that team, putting it all together. Now it's up to the players to make it happen. And I think Malcolm, man, uh, he brings those leadership qualities that
Oh man,
the Boston Celtics
I
were
hated
lacking.
to see him go. I hated to see
Right,
him go from the
right,
Pacers. I understood it because of his contract and stuff, but it
yep,
just was like, man,
and
his back. That's
right,
the thing about him is his back.
right.
He's going to miss some games.
Oh yeah, because he has back problems, and once you have back problems, I mean, lingering back problems, uh, they come and go.
Yeah.
It's once you have a back problem, you don't really get rid of it. It stays with you for the rest of your life or your career.
And as
But
time goes on,
right,
it
right,
gets worse.
right. But he brings that leadership, you know, and now he's that guy in the locker room, that veteran guy that can hold people accountable. And so I like that move. He's also a guard. That's something that Boston needed. They needed another guard. We all know they have exceptional wings with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown,
Yeah.
but they needed another stellar guard. And that's not to take away anything from Marcus Smart. I mean, the dude won Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, how much more can you really
He's just not a
ask
natural
for?
point guard.
Yeah, he's not a natural point guard, and he shouldn't be taking shots in the fourth quarter and missing them. And that was the problem for the Celtics as well. I think that cost them in some games because he was taking shots, he was attempting ill-advised shots, and he was missing them. But like you said, he's not the traditional guard for that team. But now you have Malcolm, and now your chances are even better than what they were a year ago or last season.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they've had a real good off season. I think Atlanta's done a good job trying to improve. I like the Pacers' move so far. We'll see what happens with Aiton. My dad asked, "Did the Pacers get anybody from Boston that could step up?" I do like that Tice. Daniel Tice can give you some good minutes. Um, he played some he played some good minutes for Boston during the playoffs this year.
Daniel Tice can bring the energy off the bench, and what I
Yeah,
like about Daniel Tice, he embraces his role. No,
yes.
no matter where he plays, he could be in the starting lineup. He's content. He could come off the bench, and he has that attitude, like, okay, wherever you want me to play,
I'll
I'm
play.
down for it. I'm gonna play. If you want me to start, I'll start. If you want me to come off the bench, I'll come off the bench. Whatever it takes for us to win, that's what matters to him. So I like his attitude. I like his demeanor. I like his personality. I like the way he plays the game of basketball. And I think he fits for the Indiana Pacers, what they're doing over there. I think he fits. I think he is going to be that guy that comes off the bench and, he breathes life into the team. So I like Daniel Tice. I've always liked him. I think he's a great, great role player, a great reserve player.
Before we talk a little baseball, because I want to talk a little bit about the Cincinnati Reds, of course. I think we had a all-star snub that was pretty bad,
Yes. Yes.
Before that, John Morant says he would have cooked Michael Jordan. Did you see the comments today that everybody's
Yeah.
been going crazy about?
I joked about it earlier. I don't know if you've seen my tweet, but I said that I could cook Michael Jordan in a one-on-one basketball game. That I could cook him if he was playing in his prime in the 90s. I said I could cook a prime Michael Jordan if he was playing in the 90s still, and I was a kid at the time. And I said in hashtag, be like Mike. John Morant, I appreciate him as a player. He is definitely an explosive guard. Might be the most explosive player in the game today. He's athletic. We talked about it before. His hyper athleticism is off the chart. This guy is just a highlight reel within himself. He's always, throwing down some crazy, ridiculous dunk. He damn near blows the rooftop off of buildings because of his breathtaking, plays and his ridiculous moves that you can't teach. This guy has the complete package. But to say that you would cook Michael Jordan in his prime is a big no. No, you will not cook Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan would cook you. And I love you, John Morant. I love you. You're my dude. But you can't be saying stuff like this. You can't disrespect the GOAT. You know, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He is the legend. He is a 6-time NBA champion. You know, before you say you could cook him, at least win one championship. You know, but even then, if you win multiple championships, even if you win 7, you still would not cook Michael Jordan in a one-on-one basketball game. I'm pretty sure if they did organize a one-on-one basketball game at a park or in the gym or wherever they may play, right? I'm pretty sure that Michael Jordan, being the age that he is today, in his 50s, and John Morant being in his 20s, I'm pretty sure that Michael Jordan would cook him in a one-on-one game. Because for one, Michael Jordan did it longer than him. Michael Jordan is still fairly in good shape.
Still bigger.
Even though he smokes cigars and drinks his alcohol, he's still in good shape.
And he's still bigger than Morant.
And he's bigger. He has the size. You know, he's tall. He has the experience. He's played basketball for a very long time. And I'm sure on his off days or whenever he has time, he has a hoop around his house and he probably goes outside and he attempts shots. You know, because basketball never leaves you. Even if you retire, you're still going to find a way to jack up some shots. And you're going to go in the backyard and you're going to practice some shots. And I'm pretty sure that Michael Jordan would cook him. Michael Jordan would fry him. Michael Jordan would bake him. Michael Jordan would burn him.
And, man,
okay?
I'm not a Michael Jordan fan. I hated Michael Jordan growing up. Because he always cooked my Indiana Pacers. Reggie Miller's my favorite player of all time.
Right. So, he would always.
But I'm not so delusional to sit here and say that John Morant would cook Jordan, because I knew, Jordan's the GOAT. I know some people think it's LeBron. I think to me it's Jordan. Even though I wasn't a fan of his, I still had the respect for him because I knew how great he was. And I've watched a lot of Chicago Bulls games back in the day because Indiana Pacers play the Bulls a lot. But Morant, don't get me wrong, I think he has the potential to be a great player in the league, to be one of the greats. But when you've already going in your 3rd season to start already saying that you could just cook Jordan,
yeah.
I think you're starting to get to that delusional level where it's like, hey man, you need to.
Right.
You're starting to feel yourself just a tad too much.
Yeah. And that's what it is. I mean, you know, sometimes we say things that sounds ridiculous, and that's something that sounds ridiculous. That's something you just don't say.
I saw that come up on the TV, and I'm like, no way he was stupid enough to say that.
How dare he says that about Michael Jordan? Does he know who Michael Jordan is? Do he knows that Michael Jordan was the king of trash talk?
That's what fueled Michael Jordan. Hell, if you watch The Last Dance, George Karl not saying hello to him in a restaurant, he used that as fuel in that series against Seattle. I mean, any little thing Jordan would turn into something to motivate himself.
Right. Or the time he took Charles Barkley out and he pretty much sabotaged him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put this way, you allegedly had people try to food poison Michael Jordan so he wouldn't be able to play the next day.
Right. Yeah. Well, was it really a bad pizza? Was it really a bad pizza, or did he have too much drink the night before?
They call it the flu game, but
they call it the flu game.
Knows what
really happened? Yeah. What did he have too much to drink the night before? Did he really have a hangover, or did he eat a bad pizza? Which is it?
Nobody will ever know.
Did someone tamper with the pizza in Utah? Nobody will ever know.
Oh yeah, and they said what, like 8 people delivered the pizza. But here's my thing.
I have my suspicion.
My quick thing on that is, how the hell did people know that where he was at. You know what I mean? For them to send eight damn fucking people to deliver a pizza.
Right.
You're not.
Right.
Are you telling me that Michael Jordan said, "Hey, this is Michael Jordan, bring me a pizza"? If he did, it's like, dude, come on. You know, one of the security guys ordered it, probably in their name. So it ain't like they're going to tell the people it's for Michael Jordan.
Right.
Or he wouldn't even have a security team around him.
Right.
That's what makes the story. It's like, oh, well, and you're telling me that none of your security team, all the people in that room with you, nobody ate at least one piece.
He had too much to drink the night before.
You're the only one that ate bad pizza. Everybody else is good. It's like, come on.
No, he had. I'm starting to believe he had a hangover. That's what I'm starting to believe. I mean, for many years, I didn't even want to believe it because Michael Jordan was my childhood idol. So I didn't want to believe that, he had drank too much the night before. But when you become an adult and you start to see things, differently from a different perspective, you kind of understand what people do and how things go down. Yeah. You actually have a better understanding. Oh, he was doing adult-like things the night before a game. So hey, it is what it is.
What'd you think of, real quick? What'd you think of the ESPN's top 10 quarterback list according to the executives, coaches, and players? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. Tell me about it.
Here's the order. This is according to league executives, coaches, scouts, and players.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a thing ESPN done. It says the 2022 QB rankings. Number 1, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, you got Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen at number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady at number 4. Joe Burrow tops off the top 5. 6 is Matthew Stafford. 7, Justin Herbert. 8, Russell Wilson. 9, Deshaun Watson. 10, Dak Prescott. So they left Lamar Jackson off this list, but Deshaun Watson's on it.
How does Deshaun Watson get on the list?
He played for over a year, so I don't know how he should be on the list.
Yeah, I don't know how. If you didn't play for over a year, how do you get on? How do you even make the top? How do you make the top 10?
And I don't know how Dak Prescott's on the list. I don't think that Dak Prescott should be on the list. Derek Carr should be on the list before Dak Prescott.
Yeah, well, we all know that Derek Carr's an undervalued and unappreciated quarterback. So we all know how that is. And we've been knowing that for years about him.
But like their top 5, I really don't have a problem with. I mean,
no, the top 5 is solid. It's just
it's in 5.
For the life of me, why would you put Deshaun Watson in there?
Yeah. And then I really didn't like Dak at 10. I don't think Dak's a top
10. And this is the ESPN ranking, right?
Yes.
And you're ESPN and you're a Walt Disney company and you're gonna put Deshaun Watson in there after these allegations.
Well, this is the ESPN's top 20 after they polled like league executives, coaches, NFL coaches, scouts, and NFL players.
Oh, okay, got you.
So
that's still ridiculous though.
Yeah,
because he hasn't played in over a year. I'm baffled. I don't understand that one.
I know there was a few people thought Herbert should have been higher, but who you going to put him in front of that's in front of him? You really can't put him in front of Stafford. Stafford just came off one of his best seasons and a Super Bowl win. Burrow just took his team to the Super Bowl. So I like Burrow at 5.
Yeah, where can you put Justin Herbert? You really can't put.
I mean, 7.
You could put him at 9 if you wanted to.
7's about, to me, is about perfect. Only thing you could maybe do, I know some people would do. Some people say they like Josh Allen at 1. Some people say they like Mahomes at 1. I mean, that top 5 you could flip some of them around.
It's subjective.
Because I mean, some people say Tom Brady at 1.
Of course.
Even though he's getting older, but
Tampa Bay fans will say that. They'll say Tom Brady at 1. But maybe New England fans, since they don't have a top quarterback in there, maybe they'll say Tom Brady number 1.
I'll tell you what. Belichick better start doing something in New England, or the talk's going to be you couldn't win before Brady, and then you couldn't win after Brady. So it's going to be that.
Ready to talk.
But it's going to get even worse about that. Brady you're going to get that narrative of Brady carried Belichick. It's going to get a lot worse if he goes a couple more years without doing anything over there in New England.
Yep. That's going to be the storyline.
Media will just keep getting louder and louder and louder about it.
Yep. And he'll probably be out the door in no time too, if it continues to happen.
And let's talk a little baseball real quick. So we do have the All-Star game coming up, which I'm excited about. We mentioned earlier that Albert Pujols is going to be participating in the Home Run Derby. I thought that was a cool addition. I did see that Juan Soto is going to be in the Home Run Derby as well. I like that because he's a charismatic guy. He brings a lot of energy, so it'll be a good time watching him in the Home Run Derby. I know in baseball in the All-Star game, there's a lot of snubs. Everybody wants to say somebody's a snub, but I'm gonna be one of them people right now because to me, Brandon Drury got robbed, not getting put on the All-Star. I am a Reds fan, but I do truly believe that the Reds should have had 2 All-Stars. I know our record ain't the greatest, but Brandon Drury is one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball right now. He's starting to prove that this year. I mean, he just had a game the other day where he went 4 for 5 with 3 doubles. And then you had Luis Castillo, which nobody can argue that he should have been on All-Star. He's having almost just as good a season pitching wise as anybody, especially over his last 5 or 6 starts. But yeah, really feel like Drury got robbed. I really feel like he should have been in the All-Star game. But like we were talking before we went live, it's a popularity contest. And that's what I was telling Jay the other night. It's like, Jay, in my eyes, and I'm not taking nothing away against the guys that get voted in as starters because most of them guys deserve it, and they all have big names, and that's why they got there. That's great. But to me, in my eyes, the guys that get picked as the reserves are even, to me, I hold that a little more valuable than I do being a starter because you're getting voted in by more of your peers, right, managers, and stuff like that. So you don't have that name value as them other guys, but you're still at that level to get recognized. So to me, it's almost a bigger accomplishment to be a reserve because them guys, a lot of people don't know their names. So you're getting recognized by your peers, where the other guys, it's more popularity, even though a lot of them deserve it. I'm not saying that them guys are better players. I just think it's harder for them guys to really get to be an all-star. So if you see one of them guys break through and become a starter, that's even bigger odds because if fans don't know you, you're not going to be a starter, no matter how good you are, because that's how that first part of the voting process goes.
Right. And that's the thing, right? Baseball does a poor job at marketing itself to begin with, right? And then you have a player on there that you don't know on the team who you don't know who he is. I mean, you don't know who he is because look, a lot of these big market players get top priority in this popularity contest. And that's what you see. You see a bunch of big name players from big market cities that play for big market teams, really. You look at the lineups and you see, you got 2 Dodgers in the starting lineup in the National League. You got 4 Dodgers that made the All-Star team, and then you got the Yankees out there. You got Aaron Judge out there, and he's a popular figure in baseball. Yep. Everyone knows who Aaron Judge is. Everybody and their mama know who he is, But my friend, like we was talking about earlier, it's a popularity contest. And I completely agree with you. I feel like Brandon Drury got robbed. He's a damn good hitter. He's making contact with the baseball. He's doing it on a sorry Reds team. No offense to you, but the Reds aren't that great. But if there's one guy that's trying to give the team life, it's him. Because this guy is hitting everything he sees right now. He has a great eye.
It doesn't matter if it's a fastball or a breaking ball. He's
crushing it.
He's seeing the baseball. He's seeing the baseball really well right now.
He is. And you know why? I heard rumors about him possibly being traded.
Oh, I know. Him and Castillo. It's like, why are you going to trade away our two? The guy,
yeah, you know what? I was about to tell you too. I wouldn't be surprised if the Reds do it. I would not at all.
Oh, that's what my dad said. He goes, "They're just going to trade him away." He was saying that earlier today when we were talking about it.
Yep.
Was it, we went. We broadcasted live from a car show this weekend on
Oh,
Saturday,
really?
and there was over 200 vendors there selling stuff, and then there was over 200 cars, Jeeps, and motorcycles there as part of the show. And we broadcasted live from there, and we were talking about the Reds, and we were talking about that. Like, yeah, they'll just once they get good, they just trade them, so it really don't matter.
Yeah. I don't understand that organization for the life of me either. That organization is weird. They do dumb things, and they set their team back for like 50 million years where they can't get anywhere all the time. So I don't understand what the Reds deal is, and I don't think any of us will ever know really. But
The Reds
yeah,
have been hot. They've been hot the last week and a half. They have 4 walk-off wins in the last little over a week and a half. They swept the
now
Rays.
nice. And Tommy Pham, he finally shut up about his damn fantasy league team, right? So
Yeah.
he's all of a sudden he's focused and locked in. That's good to see.
Yes, I'm hoping. I mean, they're so far behind, it's going to be hard for them to even get back. But
Yeah,
I mean, but also, you never know what's going to happen after All-Star break because, I mean, look what the Nationals did. I don't think the Reds have that type of caliber team yet. Now, if their bullpen was a little bit better, I would say yes, because our starting pitching has been pretty good, but our bullpen is flat terrible. I don't care if we're up by 4 runs going in the 9th inning. I'm still over here nervous as hell because I've seen them blow a 4-run lead in the 9th inning because our bullpen just isn't very good right now.
right.
We have some good young prospects. Diaz, his brother is the closer for the Mets.
Edwin Diaz. Edwin
Yeah.
Diaz for the Mets, right?
His brother Reds got him. He's a rookie, and he's been looking good. You have your growing pains as a young player as well. There's times he looks real good, and there's other times that he grooves the ball right down the middle, and you're like, what are you doing?
He made a mistake, right?
But here his last 3 or 4 outings, he's been on, and his slider has been on, and he can throw about real close to 100 miles an hour with his fastball. So I mean, he looks just like his brother up there pitching.
Already throwing heaters.
They have the same mechanics and everything. I mean, they look almost. If you watch them side by side, they're almost identical. I saw a thing on TV where they were showing them side by side, and I'm like, damn.
Wow. You can easily mistake him for Edwin, huh?
They do. They have real similar mechanics. And I really think he has the ability to be a real good closer for us. But look, we had Chapman. We sent him to the Yankees. We had Iglesias. We sent him to, I believe, the Angels, if I remember right. It's like,
yeah, I know that must be painful, my friend, to have to support a team that just dumps its talent all the time. I don't know what that feels like being a Dodger fan.
Oh no, you guys always have a surplus of talent, especially here the last 10 years.
Yeah, but you know what's amazing? We have a surplus of talent, but it's amazing how Andrew Fryman keeps it all together. Because what he'll do if we get rid of somebody, we'll replace them with another good player.
You guys should have a lot more World Series wins, man. You guys had teams. You've had teams that were capable.
Yeah.
For some reason, just fall a little short.
They just fold in October like this.
And that's another guy. Damn it!
Didn't put together any hits.
Justin Turner. That's another guy that used to be a Red.
Oh yeah, Justin Turner. Hey, Justin Turner, he fits well out here, though. You know, he's from here.
Oh, he fit well here with the Reds, too. But no, it was time. You had to go out to pay him. Let's get rid of him. It's like the players that used to be Reds and go to these other teams and start turning into stars. And I'm like,
yeah, he's a California dude.
Why does it always happen like that?
Yeah, he's from out here. He's from down the street, actually.
And he's clutch.
He went to Mayfair High School, which is about 15 minutes from here.
Now, did you go to high school in California?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm born and raised here. I went to Cerritos High School, though. So Cerritos used to play Mayfair, his high school, because we used to all be in the same division. The division is different now. But, Justin Turner, he went to Mayfair, which is in border Bellflower, Lakewood. It's not far from here. It's like a couple cities down. from where I live. And he went to Cal State Fullerton, where I also went for college for my 4-year university. I went to Cal State Fullerton too, and that's where Justin Turner played his college baseball.
Yeah.
So yeah, Justin Turner's a local dude. He grew up in Lakewood, which is not far from here.
Oh, I love watching him play. Dude's clutch.
Oh yeah. He's been in a massive slump earlier in the year. He's finally coming out of that slump. He's starting to pick things up gradually. He went on a hot stretch here and there, but it was a bad start for him.
If he gets hot, people better watch out because that makes the Dodgers just that much better.
Yeah. If any of these guys get hot, and they're all capable of doing it, we've seen Gavin Lux get hot. This guy has a thing for triples, man, because he's hitting a lot of triples already this season. Freddie Freeman, he could get hot at any time. We all know how clutch of a hitter he can be. We got Cody Bellinger, who hasn't been the same since the MVP season.
No,
I mean, I don't know I don't know if it's his mechanics. I don't know if it's his batting stance. I don't know if it's his discipline. I can make the assumption and say that it is his plate discipline. Why? Because the dude swings at every damn thing. He even chases things out of the strike zone. And I think the problem is because he's overly aggressive, because he is more concerned about swinging for the fences and hitting the long ball. Just put the ball in play and get on base.
Yeah. See,
we got guys that's capable. You're right.
Yeah. My mom's she's a big Dodgers fan. That's her favorite baseball team.
Okay, cool.
So my dad watches a lot of Dodgers games at night because my mom don't get off till around midnight here.
Okay.
Like 9:00 your guys' time. So Dodgers game is usually just started or hasn't been on too long.
Oh yeah,
So her and dad dad will watch a lot of Dodgers games with her. So I heard a lot about the Dodgers this weekend when we were at the car show just talking that he goes, man, the Dodgers look good. I said, yeah, they're going to be a contender right there like they are every year. But it's just, if they can just be consistent. Yeah,
they got to be consistent. Today was a travel day for them, so they didn't have a game today. They have a game tomorrow, but it's a little bit earlier. It's because they're in St. Louis. They're in the Midwest. Yeah. They're in your part of part of the country now. So the game will start at 4 our time, around 4:45, I believe. First pitch will be thrown our time tomorrow. That's 6:45 your time.
What time did you say your time?
4:45.
7:45 our time.
Oh, okay, because you guys are 3 hours ahead, right?
Yeah.
I think St. Louis is too, right?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. So well, whatever time is there, it starts at 4:45 for our time.
They could actually be 4 hours behind because they could be on Central Time. Like my sister in Chicago, she's an hour behind us.
Oh, okay, got you. So they play the Redbirds tomorrow. They play at Cardinals Nation tomorrow, which should be fun. It's always fun when we play them.
In the National League, I mean, Dodgers have to be up there as favorites. The Mets have to be up there. The Braves. I think them are probably the three teams that are probably the most solid teams in the National League right now.
Right. And then you look over in the American League, and, of course, you got the Yankees. The Red Sox are starting to get hot.
Yeah, the American League's not as
really. You got the Astros.
Yeah, the Astros. The Blue Jays have been disappointing. The White Sox have been disappointing.
Yeah, but the Blue Jays, they kind of picked it up a little bit. Yeah, the White Sox have been disappointing because of it. Because they're just not hitting anything, which is incredible to me. Because you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who got off to a hot start at the beginning of the year. You saw how good he was to start the year. I even wrote a column about that, how amazing he was. I was saying his superpower can carry the team a long way. And look what happened.
Yeah, Blue Jays haven't reached their potential yet at all.
No.
They're starting to play better here lately, but we say that, but it's still a long season left. I mean,
right. The Phillies, they've been kind of up and down too.
Yep, still have about 83 games left to play.
But see, the thing with the Phillies, though, they got better after Joe Girardi got fired.
Yeah. And see, I don't think, and that's weird because I don't think Girardi's a bad manager.
No.
Because I'll be honest with you, I'd be just fine if the Reds would fire David Bell and hire Girardi.
Yeah.
Or even Joe Madden.
Yeah, because Joe Madden shouldn't have got fired.
And he's good. Madden has been good with young teams.
Right.
Look what he did with the Rays. Look what he did with the Rays with a young team. He's been good with a young team and developing.
Right.
So that's why I would be interested in a guy like Madden for the Reds.
He wasn't the problem though. I don't understand why he got fired. But hey, they did it, and they still suck. They're still terrible. They're still losing games. And the sad thing is that Mike Trout's extraordinary career is going to waste because he is spending his entire career on a team that has failed him tremendously. And it's really, really sad to see. It really is.
I don't understand how you can have a talent like that and you can't put a team around him. It don't make no sense.
It don't. And not only do you have him, but you have Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at the roster, it's like this team should be a lot better than what they are. On paper, they're talented as hell,
right?
But for some reason, it don't translate to the field,
right? But then they have other guys in the lineup too, which is weird because they have Brandon Marsh. You have Jared Walsh. You got other Anthony Rendon is done for the year, but you still have other quality bats. You got a versatile David Fletcher, who I really like, that nobody really talks about. The guy's flexible. You could damn near put him anywhere in the infield.
Yeah.
So you got players, but what it is that they don't have good pitching. And then I've said this before about Artie Moreno, their owner. When he spends money, he spends on the wrong damn player. He invests in the wrong damn player. And then when he doesn't want to spend, he doesn't spend. It's like, dude, you have to spend money to get better. But when he does decide to spend, he's either too cheap or he spends money and he gives a boatload of money to a player that's either past his prime or a player that is not going to be a great fit for your organization.
Yeah, kind of like the New York Knicks. Kind of like New York Knicks. Always mess it up, no matter.
James Dolan. Yep. They find a way to blow it. And that's the same with Artie Moreno. So Artie Moreno really should fire himself because he's done a poor job running the organization.
I'll tell you another team that hasn't played up to their potential real quick is the San Diego Padres.
Oh, they never do.
They have so much talent on that team.
Yeah, they never do though. Jake Cronenworth, he's fallen off this year. He's looked terrible. Manny Machado has been surprisingly good.
Yeah.
He's been good despite going out with the ankle injury, but then, he's been amazing. You don't have Fernando Tatis Jr. because this guy was on a motorcycle and injured himself. So yeah, there you go. And then the pitching is suspect a bit. I think the Dodgers hit them pretty well.
And man, real quick, just think how much better the Dodgers could have been because they could have had Bauer in their lineup,
right?
If that wouldn't have went sour. I mean,
right.
Dodgers could have even been better than what they are.
Right. And, they wouldn't be where they are now if they didn't have Tony Gonsolin or Tyler Anderson. Both of those guys
Gonsolin's having a hell of a season. Yep.
And the Catman, Tony Gonsolin, was well deserving of, a spot on the All-Star roster.
Oh, yeah.
He earned it.
Yep. And if you would have added Bauer to Gonsolin and Anderson.
Oh man, I could just imagine how
your starting rotation would be real solid.
I'm a little concerned about Julio Urias. I think his velocity has dipped and he has not looked like the same pitcher. I still think he has the stuff. I think the electric stuff is there. It's just been able to find himself again. And once he does, he'll be fine. But I'm hopeful. I'm confident.
Happens in the second half of the season.
yeah, and I hope in the second half of the season, he produces better results.
Well, all right, man. You have any final thoughts before we get out of here for the night?
This was another great show, my man. Thanks for having me on. I'm always, grateful to be on the show. It's always a lot of fun to talk sports with you, and thank you to all the people that tuned in. You guys are awesome too. But yeah, that's it, man.
All right. Like I said, man, I appreciate you joining me. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
It's always great having you on. I enjoy talking to you. I think I thought tonight was a great show.
I did too.
So hopefully all the fans enjoyed it. If there's things you'd like to hear us talk about, put it in the comment section or hit us up on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo'S Sports Room, or at Chris D. Gonzalez at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Please subscribe to our YouTube page at Gonzo'S Sports Room as well. We do pro wrestling. We live streamed a pro wrestling show yesterday that had an 60-minute Iron Man match on it, and had a Royal Rumble match to crown their first champion. And then today we had a big interview with pro wrestler Big Alice Crowley. She's been on AEW Elevation Dark. She's been an extra for WWE and NXT before, and she's only 19 years old. I think she within a couple of years we'll be watching her wrestle in WWE or AEW. She's the best women's wrestler I've seen on the independent scene in this area. So it was a great interview. If you haven't seen it, you can find it on our YouTube and Facebook pages at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Looks like there's a couple comments here real quick. It was Eddie. Eddie said, yes, this was good. And it went by too fast. Well, thank you, Eddie. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
And we will
Eddie,
see
you
guys.
can follow my YouTube channel too, Eddie. Send him the link, Chris.
Okay, yeah, I'll send him the link. Yeah, follow both our YouTube channels. Please hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys. Today's Monday. We will see you guys Wednesday at 11 Eastern again. Tomorrow you can find me at 3 p.m. Eastern with Easy Money, a sports betting show. I've been hot on my baseball picks, so come join us for that. And you can also find me at 1 p.m. Eastern on the ASAP Sports for the afternoon blitz. We had a great show on that today, so go check that out. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you again, Jonathan, for joining me. And we'll see you guys Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night and stay safe.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.